The morning sun slides softly through the curtains. Margaret sits by her window, a cup of tea warming her hands. Outside, the garden hums with quiet life, a gentle rhythm she's always loved. She takes a slow breath, noticing the way her shoulders rise and fall. There's a small stiffness there, the kind that comes with years and stories. She smiles, remembering how her body once moved like a melody. Now it feels like a language she's learning again, one stretch at a time. Her cat curls at her feet, purring like a metronome for her breath. She rolls her neck gently, the sound of soft movement filling the room. Each motion feels like an introduction, her body saying hello again. The world outside keeps turning, but inside time feels slower. In that stillness, she feels something awakening awareness, quiet and kind. It's not about pushing or forcing, but listening. The body speaks softly when you give it space to be heard. Margaret closes her eyes and lets the breath guide her. A new day begins, not with hurry but with attention. This is where her journey back to her body begins. The morning stretches further into the room, soft light touching the walls. Margaret stands slowly, her bare feet pressing against the cool wooden floor. The world is quiet, as if waiting for her to move. She raises her arms above her head, fingers trembling slightly from the chill. The first stretch of the day always feels uncertain, like opening a long-forgotten book. Her shoulders lift, then drop gently, a sigh escaping without her noticing. She tilts her head from side to side, feeling the soft pull along her neck. It's not pain, but a reminder that her body still remembers. The body never truly forgets, it only waits for attention. Margaret begins to circle her wrists, slow and deliberate, tracing invisible patterns in the air. Each motion feels like a whisper from her muscles, saying, "I'm still here." She rolls her shoulders, one, then the other, listening to the quiet creaks beneath her skin. Her breath deepens, steady and calm, syncing with her rhythm. Outside, a bird calls, and she imagines its wings stretching into the air. She mirrors it, arms wide, chest open, breathing in the same morning air. The light catches her face, softening the lines that tell her years. In this moment, she is both old and timeless. The stretch travels through her spine down to her hips, where stillness often hides. She bends slightly, hands resting on her knees, and exhales slowly. It feels like releasing something heavy that she didn't know she carried. Her joints answer with gentle murmurs, not complaints but conversations. She smiles at the sound, the body talking back, honest and alive. Stretching, she realizes, is not about effort. It's about listening, about kindness to the self. The movement is an act of remembering, not who she was, but who she is now. She moves to her ankles, lifting her heels, feeling the balance shift beneath her. The floor feels more real, grounding, patient. Each breath expands into space, reaching parts of her body long forgotten. The air smells faintly of lavender and morning dust, familiar and comforting. Her heartbeat slows, steady and strong, echoing through her ribs. She straightens, spine tall, arms hanging softly at her sides. The world outside seems brighter now, or maybe she's just noticing it again. Her body feels awake, not in a loud way, but in a quiet readiness. Awareness hums beneath her skin like a low song. She closes her eyes and lets it settle, the warmth, the balance, the gentle peace. In this small ritual of movement, she finds more than flexibility. She finds connection between breath and bone, memory and motion. It's not about doing more, but about feeling what's already there. The morning stretches on, slow and golden, wrapping her in stillness. Margaret exhales once more, long and full, as if thanking her body for answering. This is her beginning, simple, silent, and beautifully aware. Margaret sits back in her chair, her breathing soft but shallow. The morning has fully arrived, and light dances across her living room floor. She notices how the air feels cool as it moves through her nose. She hadn't realized how quickly she was breathing until now. Her hands rest on her lap, palms open, a quiet invitation to pause. She closes her eyes and takes one long, slow breath. The inhale stretches like a wave, rising inside her chest. The exhale falls gently, a slow tide returning home. For a moment she hears nothing but that rhythm, in and out, in and out. Each breath feels like a message, simple and true. The body whispers, "Stay here, stay with me." Margaret straightens her spine, feeling space open between her ribs. The air fills her fully, as if her body has been waiting for permission to breathe. She realizes that this too is stretching, not of muscle but of awareness. Every inhale opens a little more room inside her. Every exhale clears a little more noise away. Her mind, once busy with plans and worries, begins to quiet. There's no need to fix or force anything, only to notice. She breathes again, deeper this time, and feels her shoulders melt downward. Her neck softens, her jaw unclenches, her heartbeat steadies. The silence between breaths becomes its own kind of peace. She imagines her breath as light, traveling through her body like warm sunlight. Down her arms, her fingertips into her toes, a slow, glowing river. The air she draws in is life itself, gentle and endless. She holds it for a heartbeat, then lets it go with gratitude. Every breath she takes reminds her of how much she's still here. Still breathing, still moving, still alive in this quiet space. Margaret remembers teaching children to breathe deeply before speaking. "Find your voice through your breath," she once said years ago. Now she's learning to find her body the same way. The rhythm continues, inhale, exhale, steady and forgiving. Her hands rise with each breath, a soft motion of surrender. She feels the air move her, like wind shaping the sea. Breathing becomes a dance she doesn't have to choreograph. It simply happens, perfectly imperfect, moment by moment. Outside, a leaf drifts past the window, slow and effortless. She smiles, realizing how much life mirrors breath, gentle, patient, unstoppable. With each inhale, she grows lighter, calmer, more present. Her body feels connected, not in tension but in flow. This is what awareness feels like, not thinking but being. Margaret takes one final deep breath, filling her lungs completely. She lets it go, a soundless sigh that feels like release. The quiet after is pure and still, a space wide enough to rest in. She opens her eyes, the world soft but clear, her mind unburdened. For the first time in a long time, she is not chasing air. She is breathing it, knowing it, and letting it breathe her back. Margaret walks slowly to the mirror in her hallway, her reflection gentle and familiar. She sees the lines around her eyes, the silver in her hair, the quiet strength in her shoulders. For a moment, she stands there, remembering a different version of herself. Years ago, she would wake early, tie her shoes, and hurry to the classroom. She remembers standing before her students, teaching them how to stretch before art lessons. "Reach high," she used to say, her voice bright and full of energy. The children would laugh, their little arms waving like branches in the wind. She would stretch with them, feeling the joy of movement without thinking about it. Back then her body was effortless, her breath steady, her energy endless. Now, standing here, she feels that memory flicker somewhere deep inside her muscles. It's as if her body remembers too, even after all these quiet years. She lifts her arms slowly, repeating the motion she once taught so easily. Her joints move with hesitation at first, then soften, as if recognizing the old rhythm. The stretch feels familiar, almost nostalgic, like a song she used to hum. Each motion unlocks something, not pain but remembrance. Her body is telling stories her mind had long forgotten. She bends forward, feeling her back lengthen, her breath guiding her through the movement. There's a tenderness in the way her muscles respond, a patience built over time. She realizes that stretching the body also stretches the past. Each reach is a bridge between who she was and who she is becoming. The years don't vanish, but they blend quietly within each movement. Margaret remembers the smell of paint and chalk from those classrooms. She remembers dancing at school festivals, clapping to music, spinning with the children. Her laughter had filled the air like sunlight spilling through windows. She feels that same warmth now, faint but real, spreading through her chest. Her hands rise again, this time steadier, her breath matching the rhythm of memory. The mirror no longer shows an older woman. It shows someone present, whole, alive. She sees not loss, but layers, years stacked gently like pages of a beloved book. The body she once took for granted now feels sacred, resilient, wise. Each scar, each ache, each slow movement is a part of her story. She smiles, a small tear forming at the corner of her eye. It's not sadness, but gratitude for every version of herself that carried her here. She lowers her arms and stands still, eyes closed, heart full. The past is no longer behind her. It lives quietly within her, pulsing through every stretch. Her body has not forgotten how to move, only how to be remembered. And now, through this gentle awakening, she is teaching it again. The air feels lighter, the world softer, her reflection kinder. She whispers to herself, "We're still learning, still moving, still here." The mirror catches her smile, and in it she sees both memory and renewal. The afternoon light falls softly across the community center floor. Margaret stands near the doorway, clutching her water bottle with quiet nerves. Around her, voices float through the room, laughter, greetings, a gentle hum of energy. It's her first time joining the local stretching group, and she feels both curious and shy. A woman with bright eyes waves at her, motioning her to come closer. "Welcome," she says warmly, handing Margaret a soft mat. The room smells faintly of citrus and fresh linen, the kind of clean that feels comforting. Everyone moves slowly, chatting as they prepare to begin. There's no competition here, no rush, just a shared rhythm waiting to unfold. Margaret places her mat down, feeling the floor beneath her feet. She looks around, faces of all kinds, each carrying its own quiet story. The instructor smiles, her voice calm, guiding everyone to stand tall. "Let's start by breathing together," she says, and the room falls into stillness. Inhale, exhale. Dozens of breaths move as one, a soft ocean of sound. Margaret feels her heart settle, her shoulders lower, her body begin to trust. The stretches are gentle, arms reaching up, bodies leaning forward, movements flowing. Beside her, a man chuckles as he loses balance, and everyone laughs with him. There's no embarrassment here, only shared humanity. Margaret laughs too, realizing how light her body feels in this space. The tension she carried earlier dissolves like mist under sunlight. Each movement feels easier when surrounded by others moving the same way. The instructor walks around, offering soft encouragements and little reminders. Listen to your body, it always knows more than your mind. Margaret closes her eyes for a moment and feels the truth of that. Her arms rise, her spine follows, her breath expands. She can sense the warmth of the people around her, their presence steady and kind. There's power in this connection, not physical but deeply human. Together they create a rhythm that feels ancient, like the body's own language. No one here is young or old. They are simply moving beings in time. Margaret catches the eye of the woman beside her, and they share a small smile. No words are needed, only motion and breath. As the session continues, laughter ripples through the group again. Someone jokes about feeling as flexible as a tree, and everyone joins in. The air feels light, filled with warmth and belonging. Margaret stretches her arms wide, feeling not just her muscles but her spirit expand. She realizes that awareness isn't something practiced alone. It grows in spaces where hearts meet, even through simple gestures. As they finish, the group stands in a circle, breathing together once more. Margaret feels calm, centered, alive in a way she hasn't in years. When she leaves the room, her steps are slower but steadier, her smile unforced. Outside, the evening sky glows softly, and she carries their shared rhythm within her. It feels like friendship, like peace, like movement turned into connection. The next morning begins quietly, with sunlight spilling across the kitchen table. Margaret stands near the window, feeling the soft pull of a new day. Her body feels lighter now, more awake to the world around her. She reaches for a glass of water, noticing how her hand moves through space. The simple motion feels deliberate, precise, almost elegant. Awareness, she realizes, isn't found in effort but in attention. Each gesture is a chance to feel the body's quiet intelligence. She lifts her arms slowly, stretching upward until her ribs expand. Her breath follows the motion, rising and falling like calm waves. The stretch feels different now, not mechanical but mindful. She feels the alignment of her spine, the grounding of her feet. Her balance, once uncertain, now feels like trust rediscovered. Every small motion connects to something deeper within her. It's as if the body and mind are finally speaking the same language. She walks to the garden door, her bare feet pressing into the cool tile. Each step becomes a meditation, a soft meeting between body and earth. Outside, the air smells of soil and early blooms. She reaches down to touch a flower, her movements slow and steady. There's balance even in this, the quiet coordination of fingers and breath. Margaret remembers how she once rushed through moments like this. Now she lets them unfold, gentle and unhurried. She straightens her back, feeling how her posture changes her thoughts. Confidence grows not from doing more, but from standing tall. Her awareness widens, shoulders open, gaze lifted, heart calm. She closes her eyes and listens to the symphony within her body. The subtle hum of blood flow, the rhythm of breath, the whisper of heartbeat. Every sound feels like a reminder of her aliveness. In this harmony, the mind and body no longer compete, they cooperate. She remembers what the instructor once said, movement begins in awareness. Those words echo now as truth, soft but powerful. Margaret begins to move again, a gentle side stretch, a twist through her torso. Her body responds smoothly, guided not by thought but by sensation. Awareness turns each stretch into a quiet dialogue. It asks, "Where do I feel?" And the body answers softly, "Here." She laughs under her breath at the simplicity of it all. So much of life, she thinks, is learning to listen to what's already known. Her hands rest on her chest for a moment, feeling the warmth of her own heartbeat. Every pulse feels like gratitude made visible. Her body, once something she overlooked, now feels like home again. As she finishes her morning practice, the stillness around her deepens. She stands tall, steady, her breath slow and even. Awareness hums beneath her skin, soft and certain. In this calm balance, she feels both grounded and free. The day stretches ahead of her like open space, and she steps into it, fully awake, fully alive. The evening sky glows in shades of gold and pale lavender. Margaret stands near the garden fence, her body calm, her breath steady. The air is cool now, carrying the faint scent of jasmine. She lifts her arms above her head, stretching toward the fading light. Her fingers tremble slightly, not from weakness but from presence. Every muscle feels alive, aware and grateful to move. She exhales softly, lowering her arms as the world grows quieter. This is her favorite time, when the day exhales too. The birds settle into trees, and the sky begins to fold into dusk. Margaret closes her eyes and lets her body sway gently with the breeze. Her breath follows the rhythm of nature, steady, unforced, serene. Each inhale brings peace. Each exhale releases what no longer belongs. She thinks of all the mornings, all the stretches, all the small awakenings. Her body, once stiff and uncertain, now feels open and kind. It has learned to listen, to forgive, to remember. She places her hand over her heart and smiles. Awareness has become more than movement, it's gratitude in motion. Every breath feels like a thank you whispered from within. A thank you for strength, for softness, for simply being here. The sun dips lower, and light spills across her face one last time. Her shadow stretches long across the grass, graceful and unhurried. She bends forward slightly, touching the earth with her fingertips. The ground feels cool, solid, a reminder of where she belongs. This, she realizes, is connection, body, breath, and world as one. The gentle ache in her legs no longer feels like limitation. It feels like proof of effort, of presence, of life continuing. Margaret stands tall again, her spine lengthening with quiet pride. She has learned that awareness doesn't come from control. It comes from letting go, from trusting the body's quiet wisdom. Every day she has stretched not just her muscles, but her understanding. And in that stretching, she has found something timeless. She watches as the first star appears in the dimming sky. A tiny light, steady and patient, much like her own journey. Her breathing slows, her heartbeat softens, her mind clears. The peace she feels is not new. It was always there, waiting. It only needed her attention to come alive again. Margaret whispers softly to herself, "Thank you." The words drift into the evening, carried by the wind. Her body answers in silence, warm, grounded, complete. She takes one final deep breath, full and unhurried. The air fills her completely, then flows out with ease. In that simple act, she feels perfectly human, perfectly enough. The day fades, the world rests, and so does she. Her awareness hums quietly beneath her skin, steady as a heartbeat. This is not an ending, but a gentle beginning that never stops. As the night settles, Margaret stands still, breathing, present, and at peace. The night has settled, quiet and deep. Margaret sits by the window again, the same place where her journey began. The moonlight rests softly on her hands as she folds them together. Her body feels different now, not younger, but more alive. Every stretch, every breath has become a quiet celebration of being. She understands now that awareness isn't something to chase. It's something to return to, again and again, with gentleness. Her body has taught her patience, her breath has taught her peace. She smiles, knowing the two will always guide her home. Outside, the world hums in stillness, a soft reminder to rest. Margaret closes her eyes, her breathing slow and steady. The journey isn't about reaching perfection, but presence. It's about honoring every movement, every moment, every heartbeat. She whispers a simple truth to herself, "I am here." The words feel light, honest, and enough. The night wraps around her like a soft blanket of calm. In that quiet, she feels the fullness of life, tender, breathing, aware. The world sleeps, but she remains awake within herself. Peaceful, grateful, and whole.